Goldlewis's defense modifier value has been increased, up from 0.89 to 0.92, thus increasing the damage he takes. This should keep him online and taking slightly more damage across this patch, whereas most characters will be taking slightly less damage thanks to the risk changes overall. Still, it's a small increase. For example, this combo only does 5 more damage. Getting into his jump dust, they cut out 6 of the active frames on the move itself. Previously it had 10, and now it only has 4. But the forward hitbox has been expanded, probably meaning that it has more effective ranges. I think a hitbox viewer would be a better way of demonstrating the change. Now, let's get into Behemoth Typhoons. Their counter hit property has all changed. Previously, they were just like a yellow counter hit, and now they are a heavy counter state. And this changes a lot of things for Goldlewis, because now he's able to get stronger combos on counter hit with all these Behemoth Typhoons. We got a nice breakdown on Twitter here, demonstrating and explaining some of the changes at effect, whereas, various combo routes would have required meter before, a particular bit of security gauge to get a Behemoth Typhoon cancels. Now they are all generally just a little bit cheaper, a little more practical, and a little bit more common. We have the entire breakdown right here on our screens. All of this, of course, courtesy of LSB Please's Twitter account, which just has all of this up for us. And this is pretty much the only bit of Twitter tech I've seen for Goldlewis so far in this patch. So we'll have to see what else develops in the future. Probably the biggest nerf to him in this patch is the aerial Behemoth Typhoons, which previously used to give him hard knockdown, meaning he would be able to close the gap and run his offense all over again after a potent mix-up. But now the opponent will tech, thus Goldlewis actually has to stop a little bit earlier. He also loses the ability to PRC super with 1 tension gauge, just like the rest of the cast. He needs 100%. And I think it's worth noting that he suffers a lot more than other characters from the system mechanic changes to YRC, as well as to White Wild Assault. Goldlewis was considered one of the strongest characters in the previous version of the game, thanks to all the various assorted buffs that the character has been receiving over the last couple of patches. It kind of felt like there wasn't really like a weakness for a big, slow-moving archetype of character that he was. His full-screen game was really solid, thanks to things like White Wild Assault and Roman Cancel to sort of skip through neutral, as well as the buff to Skyfish, giving him a hard knockdown to then close the gap. Thunderbird also alleviated that a little bit, and having some really impressive normals. And then, of course, once he got up close to you, if you didn't have a DP to RPS with, you were in hell. You had to have your instant block falls defensing pretty much on point. And with the new security changes to it, however, he was always just a monster up close with doing high damage with really potent mix-ups. And I feel like Arc System Works has designed a lot of their system mechanic changes around how Goldlewis would interact with them. I mean, you got to think about it. Now you have more than just faultless defense to get you out of some of Goldlewis's pressure. You can now, save some of that meter and YRC out of a guard crush and reset to neutral with a plus 10 frame advantage against him. That's a big deal to him, where he's not going to be able to snowball as hard as he used to, so long as you have the meter to counterplay that one. I also think that him taking slightly more damage is going to impact him a little bit, just make him easier overall to kill, whereas most of the rest of the cast is going to be taking a little less damage from him as well. Not to mention the fact that, risk gauge doesn't build up as much, so he's not cranking that out and getting as much damage as he used to out of those things. And the inability to sort of loop really oppressive Okizeme and pressure after he goes for like a jump and mix-up with his aerial Behemoth Typhoons slows him down a lot. I think that he's still going to be a really good character. Again, if you don't have enough tension gauge to YRC him, you're going to be in the same pressure that you were before, but there is going to be that opportunity for counterplay if you manage that resource efficiently and maybe err on the side of caution from time to time. And he gets new rewards on his Behemoth Typhoon counter hits as well. So in case someone does get like frame trapped effectively by him, he is still going to make people explode. I think these nerfs do a lot to tone him down to more reasonable levels. We'll have to see how he performs in the upcoming meta.